Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Emma from TechCrunch. Super excited to talk to you all today. We're going to be going over some details of the hackathon if you've never been involved before. And if you have, it's a great refresher for some of our best practices and ways to be involved with the hackers and get everybody excited. So, kind of things we'll be going over. We'll be going over links that are important for you to have, the schedule for the hackathon, kind of high-level schedule, and then I'll pass the buck over to Richard from Devpost, who runs all of our hackathon wiki page and all of the coordination on the back end to have a successful event. So he's got some great tips on best practices and how to get everybody excited on site and things like that. So one of the first things I want to show everyone is how to get to the hackathon page. This came up last time where people weren't sure where our hackathon event site was. So I'll be sending everybody the link just to make sure that you have it. But if you go to techcrunch.com, there is an events tab. From there, you can choose the hackathon. And you can see all the important info from there, like the schedule, how to get tickets for anybody that's interested, high-level information, sponsors tabs, things like that. There's also a link right on that front page to go to the Devpost wiki page as well. So definitely bookmark this page. Do whatever you need to keep it handy, and I'll be sending it to everybody directly as well. So the high-level schedule for the event. At 10:30, we'll be having all the sponsors load in. That you'll have a couple hours to get your table set up, get everything ready for the attendees to come in, and that happens at 12:30. We open the doors to the hackers. They spend a good hour, 2 hours, kind of networking and going immediately to all the booths to check out your stuff. So make sure you're ready right at 12:30 for all the hackers to come in, because they're going to be running around all the tables, excited to talk to you to see what you've got cooked up. So at 1:30, it officially kicks off. At that time, that's when we do the lightning round, and that is for partner level sponsors and above. So that means if you are a workshop sponsor or a custom contest sponsor, that would be listed on your contract. It is a super quick soapbox style thing right at the front of the work area. There'll be a podium where we just give everybody the microphone, go down the line. You get 10 seconds to say, hi, I'm from X, I do this, and come see me at my booth, and just pass the microphone to the next person. So and anyone who's a partner level sponsor or above gets to do that. From there, we kick off the API workshops. There's 6 workshops every half an hour from 2 to 6. Then we have dinner at 7 p.m., midnight pizza and beer at midnight. And then overnight, we have staff on site and security to make sure everything goes smoothly. We'll have 7 a.m. breakfast. And then 9:30, very important, the hacking concludes. So at that point, everyone needs to have their projects that they're working on submitted to the Devpost site. And then right after that, at 10 a.m., it's important for the sponsors who are running a contest to run over to the stage, to the main stage area, and reserve yourself some seats. We don't reserve seats for anybody, so it's important if you are judging any contest to grab a seat for you. And so at that time, the TechCrunch editors will take about half an hour, 45 minutes to review all the projects that have come in to make sure that there's no questionable content or anything that is in violation of our anti-harassment policy. And we will send the contest sponsors at that point a list of the projects that have been used on their platform. Then presentations begin at 11, and they go through until about 2 p.m. depending upon how many projects get submitted, but it's usually about 2. And then at that time, the TechCrunch comes out and submits or presents their winner. So that is pretty much how the day is run. I did want to highlight some key points for specifically the contest sponsor. So if you are a custom contest sponsor, and that is, let's see, Esri, William Hill, Zalando, Clover, and Twilio, you will get a list of all of the, or a link to a list of all of the projects that have been submitted on your for your contest. You'll get that list after TechCrunch does their review to make sure there isn't any questionable content. So that will usually be about 10:45. So keep an eye out for that. Once you have that, you know, settle in, watch all the presentations. And at about, usually, this is kind of a new way that we're going to do it just to make sure that we don't miss anyone, but we're going to make an announcement about 5 presentations before the end of the presentations. We're going to make an announcement for all of the custom contest sponsors to come backstage. You really have to make sure that you are backstage before the last presentation, because we just send you right up on stage, so we don't want you to miss your opportunity to announce your winner. So there's not a lot of wiggle room there. You know, you should be on a rolling basis, you know, accepting or selecting, you know, the top winners of, you know, in your opinion for your platform. So make sure you are ready to roll. So we can get you backstage and up in front of everybody to present the winner. So with that, I will hand it off to Richard to go over some of the Devpost stuff.
Hi everybody, thanks for that. Cool overview of everything. Emma, do you use your mic?
Sure.
Awesome. I think that's better. Great. Should stop switching. So, hi everyone. Hi to people that know me. It's good to kind of chat to everyone again. Always look forward to TechCrunch's hackathons. They're like big events on the calendar for us, so we're always excited. To anyone that doesn't know me, I'm going to actually share a little bit here as a bit of a refresher on like how to sponsor a hackathon and give you some like top tips of what you should be doing both before the hackathon, during the hackathon, and then after the hackathon. So all about trying to maximize your input as sponsors so you can get the most out of the hackathon, but also so you can provide the most benefit to the hackers. So we want to all make sure they have a great experience. So I'm actually going to show you a few quick slides. And just one thing to note, I've enabled the Q&A app. So if anyone's watching this live and has any questions, just throw them in, and then Emma and I can answer your questions after we finish this. So here we go. This is, share my screen now. Great, and I'm pretty sure that's working. Emma, you'll unmute and tell me if it's not. So I'm Richard, and why am I talking to you about hackathons? I'm talking to you because I do a lot of hackathons. I'm at hackathons most weekends, and you know, I've been leading the hackathon side of Devpost, which you might know under our former name, Challenge Post, for about 3 years now. So get exposed to a lot of different hackathons, and I see a lot of the things that are kind of done really well and some of the things that we can definitely improve. So just to kick off, I want to share the link for the Devpost site for the hackathon that we're talking about today. So this is the Disrupt EU 2015.devpost.com. And that's going to be the site that you will see all of the projects on for the. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to cover today a few quick things you can do prior to the hackathon, during, post the hackathon. And I'm going to cover things you can do both on the Devpost site and off it. So at every phase, there's definitely things you want to be doing in both scenarios. So let's kick off with maybe a little bit of background. I know that there's some new sponsors involved. So kind of Devpost, like who are we and what do we do? Devpost is the home for hackers. We're the place where hackers show off the projects that they build on hackathons. And we also power most of the world's hackathons, where we provide our product that helps people like TechCrunch run their events in terms of communications, presenting information, flow of the event, interaction with sponsors, but most importantly, shows off everything that gets created. So we have a lot of tools to support communications and judging, and you're going to see some of those tools, and today I'm going to show you how you can use them. So let's kind of start off. Obviously, we've powered a lot of hackathons. We run both online and in-person ones. You may know those, and we have a lot of hackers from all around the world, so it's a great opportunity to both expose your products and tools, but also for the hackers that are taking part in Disrupt to get a lot of exposure and a lot of feedback on the things that they build. So let's just jump in here. So pre-event, I'm showing you here the Disrupt site that was used in New York. So all the sites are fairly standard. It has a slightly different design for London, but the key parts and key pieces of information are all in the same place. This hackathon you'll notice here is in the ended state, which means we can check out the winners because all of the projects have been submitted. But I'm just going to use it to kind of really show you two particular things here. First thing is make sure that your prize is set up correctly. So I know that some people have custom contest sponsors. Custom contest sponsors, your prize will be represented in this yellow box on the homepage. And I think Emma should be able to share a link where you can submit that information to TechCrunch. They pass it across to Devpost and we get it set up on that site for you. So make sure that information is correct. It's a good thing to check in the run-up to the event, but if the event kicks off and the information isn't correct, just come and let Emma and I know. I'll be at the hackathon with you, of course. The other thing that I would really encourage you to do is make use of the discussion forums. Let's have a jump in here, and here's one where Tim from Nexmo was posting in advance of the hackathon saying, hey, if you're going to build something using Nexmo at the event, then please kind of let me know any questions here. So it's a great opportunity to do kind of AMAs and interact with the participants in advance. Once we've got a critical mass of participants on the site, what we will do is actually send a message out highlighting those discussions, so we'll drive people towards them for you. Which brings me on to my next phase, which is make sure you check out who is attending the hackathon. So you can actually see a list of the hackers that are attending on the site. You already see a few people registered, but as more people get the Eventbrite tickets, they'll get registered up on the Devpost site as well. You can see who the developers are. You can see the skills that they've self-identified with. You'll notice here next to Robin, there's a green tick. And that's because I'm logged into Devpost here, and I've followed Robin so that I can be alerted for different projects he builds and different events he attends. So I would totally encourage you to, if there are hackers that are building with your tools, make sure you follow them on Devpost so you can stay up to date as they continue to evolve those and they post updates. So definitely a few good things to do there before the event. This is an update. You'll see that we'll send out an update before as well that will list all the information about the APIs and prizes. So all of that kind of gets set up, and we make sure that we use this effectively as the central hub for all the information. So please feel free to keep checking it. If you notice any inaccuracies and changes, just please let everyone I know, and we'll make sure that's all set up correctly for you. So here's another thing that you should be doing before the event as well. And I know many people have already been sending across their details to Emma, but get set up for the metrics dashboard on Devpost. Now, I'm going to go into detail a little bit later on the metrics dashboard, but what this provides you with is a way of accessing the information about who's using your technologies, what are they building with it, and where are they building it. And you can see this across the hundreds of hackathons that Devpost powers. It's completely free. You can download the data. It's all publicly available information, but what we've done here is provide dashboards to companies so that you can easily access it in a way that's going to help a lot with your reporting when you're really looking at how many activations did we get at the event. So that's definitely some stuff and a kind of quick recap of what to do on Devpost before the event. So make sure you check out who's coming to the hackathon. Use the discussion forums to interact with the hackers. Make sure the information is correct online. And of course, get set up for the metrics dashboard. As I mentioned, people have been sending their accounts across to Emma, but if you have any questions about it, just let us know, hackathons@devpost.com. But of course, in addition to preparing on Devpost, you need to make sure that you're actually getting your team ready for the hackathon itself. So definitely few ideas here about what things you can do before the event off our site to ensure that you're ready. So this is a task that always kind of gets shunted often to the bottom of your to-do list, but really review your developer docs, because especially if you have new API endpoints or any other details or new functionality, make sure that your docs are up to date. A lot of people are going to be working late into the night using your APIs. Make sure that the developer docs are up to date so that they can access all that functionality. Pick the best prize. And this is a question I get asked a lot is, what should our prize be? And I always say that you want a prize that rewards and validates what the team have done, but then also gives them an opportunity to do more. And I'll give you a really great example of this. And I was involved in a hackathon that was about biometrics. So there were a lot of people hacking with wearables, a lot of people looking at those kind of data flows. So the prize that was proposed was actually a really advanced biometric sensor kit. So it was really cool because it was quite an interesting kit and could take heart rate, blood pressure, lots of different measures, and very much a professional medical kit. But if you think about it, for a hacker that was already interested in the area, that's a pretty cool prize because it's maybe not the kit they would have bought, but it definitely both validates what they've done and then gives them an opportunity to do more hacking and build more stuff. This is my third one, which is really review why people should use your APIs. So, given that, many APIs, there are different functionalities available. There may be competitor APIs that provide a similar level of functionality. So really spend some time thinking about why at Disrupt should a hacker integrate your APIs. So kind of think about that both in terms of the prize, but also in terms of what's the functionality, what's the ecosystem, how does it enable people to really excel? So definitely give some thought to the why. So let's move on to during the hackathon. So, it's past 12:30 on Saturday. We've got loads of hackers in the room. As Emma mentioned, they're coming around your booth. They're asking loads of questions. The event's deep in flow, and there's lots of great things happening. So one of the key things is monitor discussion forums. When you have a free minute, check on the discussion forums on the Devpost site for the event. People may be on there asking questions about your API. There may be opportunities for you to assist people and maybe, chances for you to interact with them more. And then here's the other thing. You will see once the moderation has been completed by the TechCrunch editorial team, we will make the gallery live with all of the projects. If you're providing a custom sponsor contest, then you will see here yourself listed under the sponsor prizes section. If you tick your sponsor prize, the gallery will filter down and just show you projects that are competing for your prize. So definitely use that as soon as the gallery goes up, and you'll be able to see who's applying. We'll also provide the data in a slightly kind of more phone-friendly format, but all these sites work on mobile, so you should be great to carry on with that. So you can see that there. So one of the main things, of course, is to make sure what you do off Devpost during the hackathon. The key thing here is we want you interacting with the hackers and kind of having these really great conversations. So here's a few ideas of things to do off Devpost during the event. First thing is be really clear about the goal. And the goal at the event should be to help the hackers. So it's not necessarily just advocating for your API or just advocating for the tech, for a particular issue that you're concerned with. Make sure that you bring people that have the broadest possible range of technical skills so that hackers can be helped in a number of ways. I always think it's good just to bring someone with your team, if possible, who just has great JavaScript skills. People are always going to run into different issues. And if you help the hackers, solve an individual problem at their event, that they're having, they will think really, really well of your company, regardless of whether it concerns your API or not. So that's a good thing. Here's my number one tip, and if there's one thing that I would encourage people to do really well at hackathons is get out from the booth. The booth should be a place where hackers can come and find you if they have a question. It's not designed as a campsite for all of your employees to hang out and have a nice time, right? So use that booth really effectively. Make sure it's well branded, you've got great information there, but really make it a welcoming place for hackers to come and ask you questions. But most importantly, get out in the room. If a hacker comes over and has a question, say, well, let's go over to where your team are and then we can all work on this together. So great way to get yourself out from behind the table and really get engaged in the event. And here's a difficult one. So we're talking about a hackathon that's going to run overnight. So when do you think that people are going to have the biggest, most kind of game-changing problems using your technologies? And I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's probably not going to be at 3 or 4 p.m. on the Saturday. It's much more likely to be at 3 or 4 a.m. Sunday. When the team's rushing to get the work done and suddenly they can't work out how to do something. So I would really encourage you to, as much as possible, try and keep that 24-hour coverage. I find that sponsors that really stand out are the ones that commit to really staying through the event and making sure that hackers are supported. So definitely consider staffing your booth in shifts, or really just kind of thugging it out and getting through the hackathon from the booth. And here's kind of what it all builds up to, right? Is having this amazing experience where there's loads of people building. So definitely good to think about. So let's assume we've done all these things. We prepared really well for the event. We did some great interaction with the hackers during it. Now let's think about the things we can do once the hackathon is finished to really kind of keep enhancing that experience. So the first thing is definitely share the projects. So, share the link to the gallery internally within your company, put it up on your social feeds, share individual project pages, do everything you can to drive more exposure to the hackers. You can see that, hackers love the validation when they get likes and comments. I think that's really important. So definitely share the projects as widely as possible. The other thing I would say is, make use of the interactive functions on Devpost. So, like the comments, comment on them, interact with the individual hackers. If you follow them on Devpost, you'll get updates when the projects are updated. Maybe they move it to a permanent URL off a kind of temporary site. You can keep getting follow-up on all of that, and as well seeing what other projects the hackers build, whatever events they attend. So definitely a great way to stay engaged with the projects. And then, we mentioned this earlier, but let's kind of review this again, which is use the reports from the dashboard. So you will be able to see analytics for who are the hackers that use your API. Now, as you can see here, this is broken down by month. You can see a total activity everywhere. You can export this data as a CSV, so just kind of pull the details, put them into your own reporting. But yeah, you can see the hackers, where are they based, what are their skills, how many other projects have they built, how many followers they are. That's a great measure of how influential they are among their peers. You can then see all of the projects that were created with your technology and see all of the different events that it was used at. So I would encourage you to use these reports, use this data. I think that it's going to be really helpful to you in building the case for more hackathon sponsorships in the future. So definitely good stuff there. But you're going to also need to do a few things off Devpost. So here are kind of 2 great tips to maximize the benefit outside of the platform. So the first thing is, blog, share, do everything you can to kind of give your developers a platform. So really make sure that you do everything you can there to spread their work as widely as possible. And here's the best tip: get the prizes out quickly. Ideally, you should be giving the prizes to the hackers on Sunday at the hackathon. But if you're not able to do that, or you need to get affidavits, etc., and other things, then just really make the effort to get those prizes out as quickly as possible. I know everyone's super tired after a hackathon, but and there's a lot of other things to catch up on. but it really makes a difference to the hackers to get the prizes to them quickly. And on the negative as well, if you take a long time to give the hackers the prizes, it can really sour that great relationship that you've built up with them during the event. So definitely try and get them out quickly. So that's all from my presentation. I'm Richard at devpost.com. If you have any questions about hackathons or about how to get the most out of Devpost, also hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Forward Media. Okay, cool. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Ooh, we went into the matrix a little bit, but that's really cool. Yeah, thanks. I'm going to hand it back to you, Emma. And if anyone has any questions, please just put them in the Q&A app, and happy to look into them.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Richard. Richard, can you mute? I think I'm echoing. Thank you. So yeah, I think that that was such a great overview, Richard. Thanks so much. The thing that I want to call out the most from what Richard was talking about was not making your booth a campsite. I have a funny story from a first-time sponsor in San Francisco. Walmart Labs was there. They had a great booth. They had lots of people. They had lots of swag. And I walked over to check on how they were doing, and there was 6 of them standing at their podium. And the woman said, it's 2:30. Everyone's been here for about 2 hours, and no one started building on the API yet. What should we do? And I said, get out there. Get your people out there. So leave your table. I mean, you should have 1 or 2 people at the table if people have questions, but especially at the beginning of the hackathon, the most important thing to do is to get out, go talk to people, talk to them about what you're doing, talk to them about your APIs, and just get people excited, because that's how you are going to get people engaged and interested. They ended up having a lot of submissions after that. So so that is definitely, when people talk about how to be successful at the hackathon, I think that's the #1 thing, is just to be engaging and get out there. So if we don't have any questions, I think that's going to do it from my end. I will be sending everyone a link to submit their API information for me. So this is not the contest info. This is just tech info, API info, to get it up on the tech page on devpost.com. And then if you are a contest sponsor, you'll get a follow-up after that for your contest details. So keep an eye out for that. If you have any questions, email me, emma@techcrunch.com, or email Richard, and we can definitely help you out. So looking forward to a great event, and we will talk to you all soon. Okay, bye.